Hello, everyone, and welcome to a relaxing evening slow flow. I'm your yoga teacher, Katelyn. This practice will last around 35 minutes. We'll take things slow, we'll stretch out, we'll breathe together. So, getting started in a comfortable seated position, your Sukhasana pose. And maybe you'd like to use a prop here to elevate the hips, a meditation cushion, a block, or some blankets or a pillow work as well. Starting to find your posture, lengthening through the spine, letting the shoulders relax away down from the ears. Flipping the palms up as they rest on the knees if you'd like to have a more receptive posture. Receiving healing energy from the world around you. Taking a few cleansing breaths. Long inhales through the nose, long slow exhales through the mouth. Setting an intention for your class can be a great way to help guide you throughout the practice. And if you'd like to set an intention, now is a great time. You can dedicate the practice to something big or something small. Maybe you have a goal in mind, or you'd like to dedicate it to someone you love. Sealing that intention in, placing one hand on the heart, stacking the other hand on top, taking a deep breath in and a deep slow exhale out, holding that intention with you. When you're ready, starting to gently blink the eyes open, taking your time here. When you're ready, dropping that head over towards the right shoulder, letting the head hang heavy, letting the neck release here. On an inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, letting the head go over towards the left shoulder. Left shoulder's heavy, relaxing away from the ear. Inhale, returning through center. And lifting the arms up overhead, preparing for a twist, planting the right hand behind the hips, left hand to the right knee, gazing over the right shoulder. Releasing the twist, inhaling, reaching the arms back up. Exhaling for your twist on the left side, left hand behind the hips, right hand to left knee, gaze over left shoulder. Inhale, returning through center, reaching arms up. Exhale for a seated fold, reaching the arms out in front of you, releasing the forehead down towards the mat. On an inhale, walking the hands back up and finding your way to come to a seat on your knees, removing any props you may have used for your meditation. When you're ready, sitting back on your heels, planting the hands next to the hips, lifting the heart towards the ceiling, maybe dropping the head back, and making your way to a tabletop position next. In your tabletop, finding that position with the wrists aligned underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, and moving into some cat-cows. Inhale, dropping the belly, gazing upward. Exhale, drawing the chin into the chest, rounding spine to ceiling. Inhale, cow pose, dropping the belly, gaze up. Exhale, cat pose, rounding the spine. Flowing here with your own breath, inhaling for your cow and exhaling for your cat. Making sure you feel that nice spine engagement between movements. Inhale, reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, threading the needle. Right shoulder and right cheek go down to the mat. And if you want to add on, you can reach your left arm behind you to grab for or towards your right thigh. Inhale, releasing any binds. And gently press back up, reaching that right arm towards the ceiling. Exhale, release it back down. Inhale, reaching the left arm up. Exhale, thread the needle, other side, left cheek, left shoulder, melt into the mat. And if you added that, bind on, reaching the right arm behind you to grab for the left thigh. Gently releasing any binds. Press your way back up through your tabletop, inhaling the left arm up. Exhale, releasing it down. And finding a hare pose, so bringing the crown of the head as close into the knees as you can. Bringing the crown of the head to the mat, and then if you can, reach behind you to grab for your heels, so tucking the toes. Finding some release here. You can move into a child's pose if this pose is uncomfortable for you. And when you're ready, inhaling back up through a tabletop to move into puppy pose. So keeping the hips high, gently walk the hands out in front of you, releasing the chest down towards the mat. And you may be releasing the chin or the forehead into the mat when you find your edge here. This is a great shoulder opener. Inhale, pulling the chest through to find a sphinx pose, so relaxing the belly, the legs onto the mat. Elbows are aligned underneath the shoulders. You should feel some engagement in the low spine, but if you need to add on, you can bend the knees, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. You can also walk the hands out and walk the chest up for a seal pose. Exhale, releasing all the way down to the mat, bringing the hands next to the ribs. Inhale for a low cobra. Exhale, release back down. Inhale for a medium cobra, maybe floating the hands off the mat, lifting through the chest. Exhale, back down. Inhale, king cobra, pressing into the hands, reaching the chest all the way up, opening the heart towards the ceiling. Exhale, releasing back down. Inhale, finding a child's pose here, bringing big toes to touch, knees wide apart, sinking hips towards heels, walking the hands out in front of you, and releasing the forehead into the mat. On your next inhale, gently pressing back up and tucking the toes, we'll find our way to a downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here to work into your down dog, maybe shaking your head yes and no, letting that neck relax, spreading fingers wide. Inhale, lifting the right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the knee in towards the chest and bringing that foot between the hands, lowering the back knee, finding an Anjaneyasana, low lunge. And take a few breaths here to flow a little bit to find that proper engagement on that front hip. You should feel a really nice stretch. Knee is as close to 90-degree bend as you can get it. Inhale, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable for you. If you want to add on, you can take steeple hands, interlacing the fingers and taking a bit of a back bend here. Totally normal to feel a little wobbly in this pose. If you took the back bend, inhaling back up, everyone exhaling the hands down to frame the foot and straightening that front leg, sinking the hips back towards your heel, finding half split, half Hanumanasana. The more you point your toes up towards the ceiling here, the more stretch you'll feel in that calf. Inhale back up out of your fold. Exhale, bending back into that front knee and spinning around to find Skandasana, so a low side lunge here. And if it's okay for you, you can spin onto that back heel. Might feel intense in the hips. As long as it's not painful, it's okay. And spinning that heel down, finding a wide-legged forward fold. Releasing the hands down towards the mat. If they touch down, you can bend at the elbows and use your grip to pull yourself closer into your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, coming over to frame that left foot, so finding your Anjaneyasana on the other side, facing the other edge of your mat. And again, flowing a little bit back and forth here to find that proper lunge for your body. Feeling that engagement on that right hip. Deep stretch. On an inhale, lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. And if you took the back bend variation before, interlacing the fingers, taking that steeple hand and starting to gently back bend, reaching towards the wall behind you. Inhale back up. Exhale the hands down to frame the foot and straightening that front leg, sinking hips back for your half Hanumanasana, half split. Bowing over the front leg. Trying to relax that head and neck down towards your shin. On an inhale, coming back up out of the fold, bending back into the front knee and spinning that back heel down to find your Skandasana. On the other side, maybe turning the toes up towards the ceiling here. Hands at heart center, sinking those hips. And putting that foot down to find your wide-legged forward fold again. This time maybe taking a bind with the peace fingers around the big toes. If you've got that bind, bending at the elbows and folding in towards the legs. If you can't catch the bind, no worries. Just relax the head and neck down towards the mat. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, bringing the hands to frame the right foot and stepping back through your plank position. Lowering the knees to the mat, taking a modified chaturanga. Inhale for cobra pose. Exhale, tucking the toes. Make your way to downward facing dog. Deep breath in here. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, walking the feet to the hands, finding a forward fold. Taking a generous bend in the knees here. Maybe you'd like to take ragdoll, reaching for opposite elbows and swaying from side to side. Letting the hamstrings open up slowly here. And when you're ready, releasing the hands back down towards the mat. Maybe you'd like to interlace the fingers behind the back, palms to touch, and try to draw the fists towards the floor. Taking this as far as your body lets you go tonight. When you're ready, releasing the bind. Inhale, lifting halfway, long flat back. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, mountain pose. Stepping the feet out wide, about mat width, and sinking the hips down. Toes are pointed out, heels are in, finding your malasana, your yogi squat. This pose is great for low back pain relief. If it's too much for you, you can sit on something like a block or a pile of books. For a twist, releasing that right hand down out in front of the right shin, reaching the left arm up. Maybe you'd like to work a bind around that bent knee. If you're working the bind, always gazing up at the ceiling. Inhale, bringing the hands back through center. Exhale, twisting left, planting that left hand out in front of the left shin, reaching right arm up. And if you're working that bind, trying to make that loop around the left knee, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhale, releasing any binds and inhaling the hands back to heart center. When you're ready, making your way down to a comfortable seat, lengthening the legs long or taking a tabletop position here, bringing the heels in. Press into the palms, lifting the hips. So palms are behind you. If you're in that plank, trying to draw your toes down to the mat, dropping the head back if the neck feels okay. And on your next exhale, releasing the hips gently back down to the mat. Finding your staff pose, planting the hands outside the hips, flexing through the toes. Gazing down at the nose, finding a long spine here. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale for your forward fold. And maybe you're planting the hands as far as they go next to the legs. Maybe you're binding with the feet. If you have a strap, you can also use that to create a bind. And when you fold, trying to keep a long spine, so trying not to round too much to the back, drawing forehead to shins rather than knees. A few more breaths here. Inhale, lifting the head, and gently release the fold. So bending the left knee in and stepping the right foot outside of the left knee. We'll find a twist, planting the right hand behind, extending left arm up and either hooking that left elbow on the knee, or maybe you just like to hug the knee into the chest. If that's more comfortable for you in this twist, gazing over your right shoulder. Inhale, coming back through center, and we'll transition to pigeon pose from here. So sliding that right leg back behind you. Leg goes long, and trying to find an even hip position here. Inhale for a gentle back bend, lifting the heart towards the ceiling. Exhale, walking the hands out in front of you and releasing the forehead to the mat. If you're new to yoga, you might feel a lot of sensation in this pose. It can be a little intense in the hips, but that's completely okay. You'll grow to love this pose. It is a great hip opener and very relaxing place to hang out. On an inhale, gently walking the hands back up, taking that gentle back bend once more. And from here, we'll transition into double pigeon or fire log. So sweeping that right leg back out in front of you, You're going to bring the shins as parallel to each other as you can, and stepping that right foot on top of the left knee. You might find there's a lot of space in between your top knee and your bottom foot. That's totally normal. You can always use a blanket or a block to support that high knee. And if that's a lot of sensation for you, you can stay upright and seated. If you would like more sensation, you can fold forward, walking the hands out in front of the shins. Inhale, starting to walk the hands back up, lifting the heart. And from here we'll come into rock the baby, so pulling that right foot off of the leg and cradling your arms around your shin and your calf, gently shaking that leg from side to side. If you're new to yoga, staying right here. If you're more intermediate, maybe working that calf on top of the right shoulder, eventually extending to compass pose. But if you can feel like your body is not there today, do not attempt that. Just working through each posture in stages. So maybe just rocking the baby here. And when you're ready, we'll come to a downward facing dog as a counter pose to all that hip work we did. Walking the feet back, releasing the heels down towards the mat. And when you're ready, we'll find our twist on the other side. So this time bending the right knee in, stepping the left ankle outside the right knee. Placing that left hand behind you. Inhale, lifting the right arm up. And either hooking that right elbow on the knee or hugging the knee in towards the chest. Gently twisting over that left shoulder. Inhale, coming back through center. And exhale for that pigeon transition, shifting the weight to the right hip and releasing that left leg back behind you. Leg goes long, flexing through the foot. And in pigeon, the more parallel your shin is to the front of the mat, the more intense the stretch will be. So drawing that shin to the right length, the right line for you. And inhale, lifting the heart for that gentle back bend. Exhale, when you're ready, releasing the hands down towards the mat, letting that forehead melt down. Inhale, starting to slowly make your way back up out of your pigeon, lifting the heart once more towards the ceiling. And exhale, we'll make our way to our double pigeon, bending the left leg back to bring the left ankle on top of the right knee, stacking those shins as parallel to each other and your mat as you can get them. And maybe this is enough for you here, or maybe you'd like to add that fold in. Walking the arms out in front of you, releasing the forehead down. Inhale, starting to come back up out of your fold. And coming to rock the baby, lifting that left foot up to cradle the shin, the calf. Slowly rocking from side to side. If you're taking that intermediate variation, starting to work the calf on top of the left shoulder. maybe moving into compass pose, wrapping the hand around the foot and lengthening the leg out here. Taking this one gently though. We've been moving slowly so we're not too warm. You might notice your flexibility is not at its maximum potential. Totally normal. When you're ready, releasing that leg back down and stepping your way back to your downward facing dog counter pose. Letting those hamstrings and hips relax. When you're ready, inhale, releasing the knees to the mat, finding your seat, and going long all the way down to your back. If you have any props here that can support your low back, we're going to take a supported shoulder stand. So I like to use a bolster or a block or a pillow underneath my sacrum, and then lifting the legs straight up towards the ceiling, so flexing the feet. And you can do this without any props, just bringing the legs up towards the ceiling as if you've got a wall supporting them. You can also do legs up the wall, an even more supported version of this. Just a very restorative form of an inversion. This pose is great for de-stressing, great for insomnia. And when you're ready, starting to release the feet down towards the mat, gently removing any props you may have used. Taking your time here. When you're ready, lying long on the mat for a breath or two, and bringing the sole of the left foot to the mat. Reach the right leg up, so placing the right ankle just above the left knee. We're coming into a supported, reclined version of pigeon. And if that's enough for you, you can stay right there, or you can reach for a bind behind the left thigh. Gently pulling that thigh in towards the chest. And keeping your legs as they are, release the bind, bringing the arms out to a T, and let those legs go over towards your left side, feeling heavy here. Taking a different form of your supine twist. You can turn the gaze towards the right shoulder if it feels okay. Inhale back through center and release both feet down to the mat. Inhale, lifting the left ankle over the right knee in that area just above the kneecap on the thigh, and reaching for that bind if you did so on the other side. Interlacing the fingers behind the thigh, gently pulling the legs in towards your chest. And keeping the legs as they are, release the bind, bring the arms out to a T, and draw the legs over towards your right side, drawing the gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, coming back through center, releasing the feet down and drawing the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug, slowly drifting from side to side, or maybe you'd like to take a happy baby, reaching for the outsides of the feet, drawing the knees down towards your mat. massaging the low spine as you drift from side to side. When you're ready, releasing the feet down, letting the legs go long on the mat, moving into our Shavasana, our resting posture. At the end of every practice, we rest here to let the effects of our practice soak into the body. Let the mind quiet for a few more minutes. So bringing your legs just outside your mat, letting the feet open out towards the sides. Arms go long, slightly out from the side of the body, palms facing up. Rolling the shoulders under the back and letting the whole body feel heavy here. Taking a quick scan of the body, finding somewhere you can relax a little more, just becoming 10% more comfortable. Softening the space between the eyebrows, relaxing the jaw, whole body completely supported by the mat, by the earth, whole body feeling completely relaxed. Gently starting to bring awareness back into the body, wiggling fingers and toes. When you're ready, reaching the arms overhead, taking a full body stretch, noticing any differences you feel in the body, and drawing the knees into the chest. Make your way over to one side, pausing there for a moment, thanking yourself for making it onto your mat today. When you're ready, taking your time to gently press up to a comfortable seat, finding your Sukhasana once more, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze light here. Thank you for taking time to respect yourself, to further your practice. I hope that this practice has served you, and I hope you join me for future videos and future practices together. Namaste.